let's talk about the Mike Conley trade rumor. The rumor, as I heard it last night on Knicks Fan TV, is Mike Conley for Julius Randle. That's what I heard last night. There might be other parameters to the trade. I am not sure at this point. So let's talk about that. First of all, while I really like Knicks Fan TV, my man CP and Jay Ellis, who are Knicks fans in New York, those are my men right there. I like both of them. I like their show. Tremendous show. And I've seen them, and we've all watched them grow over the last couple of seasons, and I'm very happy for them. But if you noticed, there was no mention of the origin of this rumor. There was no mention of the origin. Did Ian Begley say it? Was there an unnamed Knick official that said it? Did Mark Berman of the New York Post say it? I don't know. But I didn't hear the origin of the rumor. I saw this morning that another Knicks writer, Balone, I think his name is, picked up on what CP said last night and then continued the rumor. But there was no origin of where this is coming from. Okay. In fact, it was fan-sided. They just picked up what Jay Ellis and CP3 brought out last night, and then they ran with that and added, their own thing to it, but there's no origin. So I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's true. It might be. But if you're a Knicks fan, one thing you are used to is every year between seasons, there is a multitude of rumors about the Knicks. Every year. And again, we know because the Knicks are used as clickbait. They're used to make money in the media because they are the largest media market in the United States. The New York, New Jersey, Long Island, Connecticut, Westchester market is the biggest market in the United States. Okay. Especially for sports in general. And so because of that, the Knicks, no matter how bad they are, they generate interest every year because of the size of the market. So there's always rumors. Not only that, I've heard everything from, I remember back when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was Lou Alcindor, and there were rumors he was coming to the Knicks. I mean, that's how far back it goes, this type of thing. So I don't know if this is true or not. But let's talk about it as if it is. Let's talk about it as if it's imminent, as if it could happen, as if it's a real possibility. Let's talk about it. Now, the last time the Knicks had a lot of cap space was a year ago, if you recall. And the goal in the season before this past one in creating that cap space was to attempt to sign Kevin Durant and then Kyrie Irving were the two names, of course, that was being bantered about for the whole season prior to last offseason. Of course, we know this did not happen, but it was so heavy, so much hype, so loud was that rumor that you had almost every major outlet, all of them, or all the ESPN and all of these guys and several NBA players that were saying, oh yeah, he's going to New York. Now, maybe he was before he hurt his Achilles. I don't know. Or maybe he was and then Kyrie talked him out of it. I don't know. But he didn't go. So we had all of this cap space, right? So there were a number of people that suggested that New York used this cap space to get draft picks. What do I mean by that? Like, if somebody has a big contract they don't want on their books anymore and they want to save cap space, New York can absorb that those salaries, and in return, ask for number one picks, ask for draft picks, and stockpile draft picks, which is, a smart thing, if you're looking to build for the future. And that would have been smart. Two problems with that as far as the New York Knicks are concerned. Number one, by absorbing, cap money from teams that had too much, spent too much and want to get rid of a player's salary, the Knicks and the Knicks fans would feel, oh, we're going to get X player. Like back in the day when we were trying to sign LeBron, they absorbed Tracy Murray's bloated contract, and they were like, oh, we're getting Tracy Murray. Not Tracy Murray, Tracy McGrady. We were getting Tracy McGrady. And everybody was like, oh, we're getting Tracy McGrady, and oh, we're going to be good. But the thing was, it wasn't about us being good. Tracy McGrady was way past his prime. The Knicks only took him as a way to clear space for LeBron. They took a dead contract that was going to expire to clear space for LeBron. Of course, that didn't work. And they didn't even do that right because they could have gotten more number one picks for that. Okay. So now the fans at least have learned from that mistake, and they're like, okay, we're going to do this. Let's get some picks. If they're trying to dump salary, let's get some picks. And that's the situation with Mike Conley. Mike Conley is not, if he came to New York, $34 million, and we'd be sending out Julius Randle's $19 million. And so we'd be, using about, 15 million of our cap space. Okay. Which is fine because we're expected to have, even at $109 million cap, if they don't raise it to 115, we're still going to have 45 million in cap space. So we'd still have 30 million in cap space after doing that deal, which means we still could, get a high quality shooter in here. Okay, we could get a Bertans. We could get a Gallinari. We could get a Mook. We could get some people in here, okay, that could shoot the ball and spread the floor a little bit. But the goal would be for us to absorb Conley's contract for draft picks. That's why we're doing it. We're not doing it because Mike Conley is going to help us. That's not the goal here. And I heard that last night. I was listening and people were immediately trying to speculate on how Mike Conley is not coming here to help us. He's not. Okay. It's for us to stockpile draft picks. What you don't want is what happened last year. You don't want them signing, Julius Randle, Mo Harkless. You don't want them trading for Mo Harkless and getting, Elfrid Payton to take minutes from the players you are trying to develop. You don't want that. I wish we would stop thinking that we're going to get a savior that's going to get us to the playoffs like next year. Not going to happen. I don't mind us getting Mike Conley as long as we're getting draft picks. All the trades that I proposed, okay, to get Julius Randle off the team. What I've learned, and some of you have helped me, is to make sure we're getting draft picks back because that's what we want to do. We want to stockpile draft picks. We want to get draft picks. Okay. So like if Utah was sending us, they have a number one pick this year. I think it's number 23. If they're sending us their 23rd pick of this year and we can get another draft pick either the year, because they can't send us 2 draft picks in 2 years in a row. So if we get a number one this year and a number one for 2022 from them, yes, let's do that because that's the whole point. Mike Conley's not going to help us. He's past his prime. Okay. And if you look at the stats, aside from his averages, he's only played like an average of 50 games a year for the last 4 years. He's always hurt. Even when he was in his prime, he's a dog. He's a gamer, no question. But he always get hurt. Always like in the playoffs when they get ready to push, when him and Zebo and them was pushing everybody in the Western Conference, he would get hurt. He's prone to get hurt. So he's not coming here to play Tom Thibodeau heavy minutes. That's not going to happen. Okay. He might, he's going to play, obviously, but he should not be playing in front of guards we have or guards we draft that we're trying to develop. That should not happen. People think he's a stopgap until we get a point guard. I done told you about this point guard obsession. Ball dominant point guards do not win championships. Ball dominant point guards do not win championships. Okay. We're trying to win a championship. We're trying to create a long-term winner. That's what we're trying to do. And you know what's good about this particular offseason right here that we're in? It's filled with wings. And we need wings. I mean, it's filled with wings. If you look at the draft, you got a lot of wings that are potentially good players. Okay. You got a lot of good wings out there. Starting with Anthony Edwards is a wing. Okay. Vassell is a wing. Okoro's a wing. Okay. Bain is a wing. Neesmith is a wing. You gotta, and I got more. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do a video on other players we can be looking at after 8, because I want Vassell at number 8. There's some good wings out there, okay, and there's some good shooting wings out there. This is the year to win, okay, and so we should take advantage of that and get us some, okay. But don't think that Mike Conley coming to New York is going to improve the Knicks. It's not. It's not. But he's going to help in terms of a veteran presence. But his real value is getting us draft picks. And I would like at least 2. Don't just give me your number 1 this year at 23. I want your number 1 this year. I might want a second rounder next year. And I want another number 1 in 2022. That's what I want. If you want to get that $35 million off your books, okay, I'll help you do it. But it's going to cost you. Let me ask you all a question. Look, think about it this way. If it was Pat Riley, if it was Danny Ainge, what would they want? Okay. In other words, if Danny Ainge or Pat Riley had Julius Randle and was going to trade him to the Utah Jazz to spare the Utah Jazz of $16 million in cap space, what would they be demanding for that? See, what would they want? Every time it's the Knicks, we supposed to get fleeced. I heard somebody yesterday mention, what video? I forgot which video was. I'm glad I don't remember because I don't want to mention it, but this dude was talking about for Oladipo, we sending them this year's number 8 pick, next year's draft number 1 pick, and something else too for Victor Oladipo and Kevin Knox and Julius Randle. Why is it the media always think we stupid and we got to get fleeced? Like, I mean, I know we got fleeced many times in the past, but let's learn, man. No. Don't give up no number 1s. Don't give up none. And don't give up on any of your young players. Ain't nobody out here right now except AD and Giannis that will help us next year get to the playoffs. If you got Giannis on your team or you got AD, yeah, you going to go to the playoffs. Yeah, you might want to give up a Kevin Knox and some picks for that. But this only we talking about 2 players. That's it. I wouldn't do it for LeBron. LeBron's still a great player, but that brother 36 years old. Come on now. What? You want some short-term candy and then go back to the toilet? We trying to build something long-term, man. So as far as this Mike Conley thing, to put it bluntly, okay, it's fine. I have no problem. Send Julius and just Julius Randle for Mike Conley. But I want 2 number 1s. And I want a second round pick too. I want this year's number 1 at 23. I want your 2022 number 1, and I want next year's number 2. And then, okay, bye. We do this and we be good. That's my take. Tell me what yours is. Peace.